Tom Benton, who's a union rep, and as of yet, I have not heard this. So that's on hold. Brian Fitzgerald is going to get us the annual update document by the next meeting, 7:25. And our mortgage tax, we received a check from October to March for $60 less than $20,000. We had budgeted $40,000 for the year. So Brian, question with that mortgage tax at October to March, but accounts for 2024.
Yeah, we don't accrue for that amount, like that, it'd be too much accounting work to do it, so we just count the two that we receive.
And the second one is coming in like January, February.
It'll come, in the fall,
Oh,
yeah, late fall, and then we get when did this one come? Just now, so yeah, I think it was 3 times they come.
twice.
Well, so I got three times, a couple times, I don't know why they give us another one before.
Okay, so that's a question. So we budgeted 40,000, we got almost 20. So,
But there's more coming.
but I thought there was only one more. That's as far as that goes. The only other thing I have is, which is going to be later also. You know, we got the playground grant of $19,000.
Who decides what we're doing with that?
I have an email into back to Patel, because I want to know the next steps.
Right, 'cause Sonny Shufelt's wife transferred, or gave it to Becker.
Right, so, you know, apparently they think it's for the pickleball court. And maybe it is, but it's not enough for the pickleball court.
I think it is.
You sorry?
I think it is.
Well, I have quotes of,
That's $100,000 though.
no, to $29,000,
Okay.
you know, but I'm sent her an email to ask her how to continue. I don't know if the pickleball court, the last quote for $29,000 was to go down 1.5 inches. But I believe that crack is down 3 or 4 inches.
It's okay. If you go down and you top it with 2 inches of top, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
Don't you think so, really? It's a tennis court.
Yeah, I don't know, it depends on the base, it's a base. I mean, it's a pretty large
The
track.
crack has none of this, you know, it's just a crack. I think you could seal that crack up and run right over it and paint it for both tennis and pickleball.
Maybe,
Get the best of both worlds. And if it only holds up for 6-8 years,
you know, also,
back to where it is.
there was that roundabout thing that the kids played on.
yeah,
And now there's like a monkey bar. And I don't know where that came from.
I have no idea. I asked somebody either, so, and they should have known.
And we don't know.
That's private. Somebody put that there. A private individual.
But as far as the town is
You've got the merry-go-round, right?
We got rid of the merry-go-round, the bearings were out of it, and we had a discussion with the board, and, from a safety standpoint, they asked us to get rid of it, so it's been scrapped.
Oh, it's-
Yep.
that's gone. But now in that place is these,
Oh, it looks like an igloo.
yeah,
Yeah.
they call them monkey bars. I don't know what
Yeah. I don't know.
you know, was that, but I like that, isn't it? You know, I think we should know.
and it also is a requirement that there be a certain amount of wood mulch underneath and surrounding it for safety.
Right, because I met with the
Or a
park,
cushion?
Albany County Parks Commissioner or Assistant Commissioner, I don't remember his name, but there were certain regulations that you had to follow.
Exactly.
So this was installed without our knowledge. Not that we're not grateful for it, but is it
It's just sitting there.
installed properly.
It's just sitting there. People put them in their lawn, you know, it's not a official type. It's a homeowner thing, and it's like the kind you put in your yard. I'll stop and check it out, but Becky Patel should know.
Right, because once it's there, it's a town responsibility. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, correct, if somebody hurts themselves on it, right.
It's a town responsibility. That's all I'm saying.
You want me to call Becca, or are you gonna call? I'll call.
I emailed her once, I will do it again.
So what are the monkey parts? Who put it there?
You're gonna ask about the grant as well.
Look, well, I wanna know what the next steps, about the grant is. I received an email from the county saying they wanted our EIN number and what we're using it for. And they would send us a check. I don't know what we're using it for. So I need to find that out. I just got that email today.
Do you know how much is in the fundraising fund?
$50.
$50.
$50. Right?
That's
It's
the last I
$50,
heard.
trust me. Okay, so that's, my report.
I make a motion to accept supervisor's report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. The accountant's report.
Halfway through the year, all the accounts look pretty good under budget still. There's a few in the general fund, over by a couple hundred here and there, but we can transfer money from 1.4 account to another to cover that. One thing we did work on this month was the district. And if you look on your report, in the water district expenses, down towards the bottom, the accounts, I put in new accounts instead of an account number for now. They start with PDR for preliminary engineering report. And what I did was I separated all the expenses going for the preliminary engineering report and put them in those accounts. And what we're going to do after we get the bonds, we're gonna set up a capital project account and move those off the water district. Well, there's still gonna be the water district, it's gonna be the water district capital project. And we're gonna have it separate so we can isolate those preliminary reports and, match them up with the bond when we get that. I do have one question. Right now, we're short-term loaning the money to them. I think I should go in and find out how much interest and charge some to the water district from the general. It's not gonna be much, but wouldn't that be the right thing to do?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, because we don't want people saying, hey, the town's funds. So I'll just do a daily average interest per dollar and see how much money they've got. And we'll write up a little sheet and we'll pretty much bill them and charge them for that. That's all right with you guys, so.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do.
Okay, so, and we looked at it, looks like it's gonna cost with the bond council about $80,000 to $81,000 for this report.
For the bond.
Yeah. For the bond to do the preliminary engineering report.
So what is the total of the bond supposed to be about?
About 81,000, 80 to 81.
Do you know what that consists of, Brian?
It's, let me see, we've got $5,550 is going to be paid to sustainable growth. 67,300.
I thought there was $4,050. That was what we signed last month.
This is what I got from Ed when I met with him. This is what he gave me.
Okay, so just put
I
an
don't
asterisk.
think that's in there yet.
Huh?
I don't think that's in there yet because Ed just emailed me the signed copy of that $4,050 that you're referring to. So I don't think that's part of what Brian's talking about.
Yeah, it's in there.
So it is.
Yeah, this is the projected amount that's going to be the total. There was ready to bill for 1,400 or something earlier in the year, or 1,200, so that got added on there. So it's gonna be 5,550 for sustainable growth. CT mail, 67,300. G&G Consulting is $4,109, and I've got an estimate of 4,000 for bond counsel.
How much?
4,000, would that be?
That's about right, probably a little less.
Yeah, I've usually seen them come in like $3,000.
Yeah. Did we get the engagement money yet?
Yes, they forwarded. Do you want a copy? I think there's a copy in my phone.
No, it's not the engagement letter. This is just instructions. I'm sorry, Brian.
Okay, and that's all I've got for now.
So that's all the 5550, the 67.3, the 4109, and 4,000? Okay.
Make a motion to accept the accounts report?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Good. Attorney. Well, I'll pick up where Brian left off. On the bond, I misunderstood the direction last month of where we were going with the 202B proceeding. I thought we were gonna wait and then bond it. But John and I in our weekly call corrected me and said that we're gonna pay as we go along. So I reached out to a bond attorney in New York City that I use all the time for my various projects around the area, and we can do it this way. And he sent up the bond resolution this afternoon, which I will need to revise based upon Brian's numbers. And you can, after the resolution is adopted, you can go to a local bank. You wanted to go to, I think it was Bank of Greene County. And then take the bond out there and reimburse the general fund. And then start, and keep track of that to pay it back when the project's complete. And then we can do that with other expenses along the way. And then when the final tally is made, we'll have to get one bond to cover it all, and we'll be done. Okay. Question. So we can't just go to the bank ourselves and get a bond? We need a bond attorney?
John,
Just explain that.
John, we need to enter the 21st century, and there's like laws and statutes that we need to follow. And when you're out there bonding this, it's just another way of borrowing, since you don't have that capital around and you need to be replenished. So you just, under the local finance law and the general municipal law, since you're financing a capital project, ultimately a capital project for the water district, you're gonna need to bond it, and this is the way you do it.
Yeah, these are tax exempt municipal bonds too, so there's a few more strings attached to them than just going to the bank and borrowing money.
Okay. You're expressing doubt about the approach. I'm just want everyone to understand why we're spending this money. Well, you're spending the money because you have to. You're spending this money because the water district doesn't have available funds in its account to pay for it. And because the water district doesn't have the funds in its account to pay for it, the town is. And the town has to go out and replenish what it is paying out. Right, my expressing doubt, I want to be clear on this, is because I'm thinking I just go to Bank of Greene County and say, hey, I need a bond for X amount of dollars, and we get it without costing anything. So my question is, why are we, because the general obligations on the local finance law require you to do it this way. So that's the answer? Yeah. Correct. Okay. That's why people break the laws all the time. It's foolish.
I am just trying to keep the town on the straight and narrow.
Sounds just government efficiency, you gotta get used to it.
All right, so because we're financing a capital project is why we need a bond.
Correct. Under the local finance law and the general municipal law. Now, ultimately, based upon our weekly calls, I understand that there's gonna be other expenses here, like within the next 8 to 12 months about concerning,
Test wells.
test wells. I'm gonna have to pay for that. We can go out and get another bond to pay for that, and then there's gonna be a map plan and report prepared by CT Mail about the cost of all the improvements, and that's what we call a 202B proceeding under Article 12A of the town law for water districts. And then, when that third part's done, we're gonna add up all that we've done and take out one bond that's gonna refinance it all, hopefully at a lower rate.
Okay, so one of my questions,
Do we have to go through the same process every bond, or once we have the, so have the $3,000 to $4,000 expense on every bond we do?
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be 3 or 4 grand. I mean, I thought you would receive the engagement letter today. But that'll probably come tomorrow. It's not gonna be a significant sum of money for services, I assure you. And I think 3 or 4 grand
It's a high estimate. I wanna make sure that we had it covered.
yeah, I think it's gonna be 1,400 or 1,500.
so, but, fine, but what the question that I had, and Carl Eddie's saying the same thing, is every time we get a bond, it's still gonna be that X amount of dollars.
Yes.
So that's why originally, but if it's only 1,400 or 1,500 bucks, I was thinking to take a larger bond to cover more. So instead of $67 or $81,000 bond,
Essentially a standalone project. I mean, if the project doesn't go through, we have this report. And this is a complete finished report that you can use, no matter when you start the project. So that's why, let's get this one paid for and take care of now. And then when we do it, then roll it into the other bonds.
Because I don't believe there's any contract been signed for
No.
test wells.
No.
You're spot on, Randy.
Yeah, let's not bond for stuff that's just plans in the future. Right now, we got this project, we got a certain amount of money. Let's bond for that. People, we can give them a pile of papers, say, here's what you bonded for, this is it.
No, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Let's pay for what we do as we go along.
and again, you just want to explain to people in the water district, we need to understand it, and now I understand it better.
The other thing is ultimately, it's on them.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't know what the numbers are gonna bear out, but what I do know is that there's 84,
Yeah,
81 resident owners, so.
Definitely will.
That's right.
And I specifically went to a meeting and stated that to them. The town is not paying for
Okay,
any, it's the water district that's paying for it.
you are correct.
So that's absolutely, not sure if it's understood by them, but it was told to them. Okay,
Now, you're still going, Bo?
Well, last month, John had to sign the petition in 2 places, and it was only signed in one, so it's gotta be re-signed. Can you sign it now? So, it's right.
okay, this one. This is,
And this is the,
this is the latest site, how do you say site prep?
yes,
Site prep, where the major change that we made was that we could use up to 90% of the interest. I think that's a major change. Vicky had a couple, were they grammatical or?
Yes.
Okay. So at this point, I will sign this and give the people that are screaming for the money Bill's cell phone.
Okay. 11. Next page, John.
Oh, Vic, you gotta notarize this.
I'll notarize it.
Okay. So now that we signed that,
I'm gonna file it, and then, I would hope within the next few weeks, we would have an order allowing you to get the money and disperse it if you see fit.
so say 30 days.
Yeah, I'll report back to you.
Okay.
Final chapter of my report deals with dams. So DEC went and examined the property, and John was there. And I think Tim was there too. And they said there wasn't any environmental concerns. So we phoned, John phoned the
DEC.
DEC, the representative, and then my office phoned him. The rationale was, that it's personal property and it wasn't a commercial dump, and there was a litany of reasons why there wasn't any environmental issues. So we sent a FOIL request in to get the man's report. And I haven't, as of this afternoon, I have not received it. But when I do, I'll send it to you.
What property?
Sayre Road.
So what we did, in our call, John and I speak every Tuesday. We went out and we got a quote to, for an engineering firm to go out and inspect the property as to its lack of habitability and the fact that it's falling apart. And I understand that to the naked eye, you can go out there and reach that conclusion, but if we go the Supreme Court way, we're going to need proof. And we can't do the proof.
Without the engineer's report. But can we continue that conversation?
Oh, yeah, you can do whatever you want.
So if we continue with the engineer's report and going forward to the Supreme Court, you're gonna let me know about how much that would cost.
You're gonna have to, I mean, the legal fees are insignificant compared to, I would think, what it would cost to demolish the structures, there's two of them, and cart the material, the structures away. I don't know what that number is. So I think the next step in the exercise is to find out how much it's gonna cost to have that done. And I will do that, and I'll report back to you.
So my contention with this property was to find out, even when we go to the Supreme Court, what does that get us?
Right, and what that will get you is, an order allowing you to demolish the two structures, clean that up. It would not include, well, I guess you could, include the vehicles and have an order part of that, have the vehicles removed. and then sell them, because I don't think any of them are licensed or have plates on them or any registrations, and then you can sell them for scrap and get recompensed in that way, in some fashion.
Which is about $6,000, just so you know.
And then, that would be it, because I don't think we're gonna get rid of the construction debris or the barrels, am I correct?
Correct.
So leave that there, and then, I don't know how much it's gonna cost, because the nut in the equation, the variable, is the, cost of demolition. I don't know what that is. So I think either Tim could go out and get quotes now and get solicitations as to how much that would be. I sense these people won't even show up. And it'll be easy to put in the proof. It'll be uneventful. And at the end of the day, I mean, the best I can say for you right now is that you're gonna get a judgment against the property and against the owner. And then you enter the judgment in the clerk's office, and then you start enforcement and try to recoup it. The worst case scenario is you're gonna have a judgment on the property, and when it's sold, if and when it's sold, you need to be repaid at 9%. You're gonna get 9% on your money, after the judgment is entered.
So my understanding is that we go to the Supreme Court, we get the ability to clean it up. We do not get the land. The land is still owned by that landowner. We just have a judgment against it.
Correct.
So now, does that give us the right to force the sale? I believe not.
I believe not also, and I'm not a legal expert, but the judgment will stay there forever.
No, it'll stay there for 10 years, and then you just have to extend it for another 10 years. But,
But you can't force them to sell the property.
correct.
So in the meantime, the cost of all of that is the burden of the taxpayer. I mean,
Or,
it's on the taxpayer.
and right, and that's what we talked about last time, is this property got out of control. This property got out of hand over decades. So
Can somebody refresh my memory as to why we're doing this?
because we have a law on the books for unsafe buildings.
We got a lot of laws in the books we don't do anything about, so just.
Okay, so just hear me out. This is one problem.
Right.
If we don't enforce the unsafe buildings law or this other stuff that's going on, in 10 years or 20 years, there'll be 20 of those properties. We're not stopping anything. And that's, was my goal. I know a lot of people don't like me for it, but it doesn't really matter to me. I feel that if we just let these people do what they want, you're gonna have an environmental nightmare. Rensselaerville is a beautiful town. People love it. And it's historical, but yet you have people, these other properties that have just been ignored. This didn't just happen. This is probably 3 decades in the making. If we don't do something about, even if we can't do anything about this one, I personally need to do something about the other ones. Because eventually it's gonna turn out to be this. Or we just let it go.
Well, CT Mail had a great option in the end of their water report, and it was do nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm all for doing nothing in this case. They've been there a long time, and they're not really truly hurting anybody. They are ugly, but nobody's bothered by it. I don't lose any sleep over it.
So in this case, meaning this single case, what about all the others that are following? Do we do nothing about that? You're never gonna,
Okay, well, let's take the other side of that. Am I gonna go to the Supreme Court with every one of these? Heck, no. We could have $300,000 worth of, no way. You're never gonna get the money back. No way.
but the damage that we're doing to our environment and our town,
What damage exactly is that doing to the environment? DEC said it was fine.
DEC, I don't trust
Is
DEC.
there oil leaking in the ground? Is there
There's
this?
55-gallon drums all over the place.
There's 55-gallon drums everywhere. That doesn't mean they're full of toxic material.
Well, I mean, we're a board. We just have to,
We're bored, but I gotta tell you, as these things unfold, I'm gonna vote no on everyone. And I hate to be the stick in the mud, but
hey, you have your opinion, and that's
Yeah.
good. That's
Right.
why we get along.
Yeah.
Just because you don't agree with me doesn't mean that.
no, right. And I'm not horrified by these situations. I drive by them and go, oh, look at that dump, you know? That's it. And you know, every town has them, and as a matter of fact, we have less than most towns. You go over to Knox and you go to Middleburg, it's a holy moly, it's worse.
But I think, you know,
Has anybody spoken to the Downs? Or they won't
he's been
respond?
to court for 2 years.
Well, one thought I have about this is that, first of all, I wouldn't be comfortable going forward with any part of this Sarah Road until we know what the potential costs are, what the total cost would be. I don't want to spend any money until we know what the overall picture of it is.
We agreed to that.
Right. Another thought about it is, as you say, this Sarah Road property has been in decay for decades. So for decades, there's been violations of our government. And it's a lack of enforcement that allows these properties to become the way they are. It's the broken window syndrome, right? If you don't address the broken window, the rest of the building decays. So it takes active zoning enforcement in town to prevent these scenarios from even developing. I mean, not be able to undo the damage of all these structures, but we can be proactive in not having more buildings become like this by more proactive enforcement.
And that's my agreement.
I agree with that.
I agree with that, you know, and even if this property, we don't do anything about, if we don't do anything about it, I really feel that a lot of people are gonna say, if, they're gonna say, well, why do I have to do it? You didn't do nothing about that. That's mentality.
I agree with that. How many properties have you identified?
I think 24.
20 plus in one day. In 6 hours driving around.
These are
I mean, we knew where we were going.
Unoccupied structures that are dangerous.
Falling apart, unattended to, property maintenance violations
But they're not
to this level.
to this level.
But some of those structures that you mentioned, and you issued violations for some of those.
He has,
And there has been.
For the first time in 30 years, we have a list of violations, a cumulative list that we keep for the last 3 years of all the violations that we are.
Well, my point being is that some of these conditions have improved.
since we started
Since we
giving
started.
violations.
Yes.
A lot of them
Yes.
improved just by conversation.
So, I mean,
By
exactly, and when we
engaging with the
first
residents.
began this discussion, that was our intent, you know, the kind of the carrot and stick approach, where, you know, we can start this slowly, and if you can make improvements to your property, that's awesome, it's wonderful, you know. And it's worked in some instances, so there has been improvement.
There has been improvement. And that's all we're looking, that's what I'm looking to do, is have some improvement. Maybe get people to realize that, you know what, I don't need this property. Maybe you could sell it to a young couple that can live in one room and fix this house, instead of taking out hay fields and building homes on it, which everybody complains about. So, we took an extreme example here, but I guarantee, we have to just continue looking at the cost, because if we don't do something about it, there are people, I already know a handful of people are gonna say, well, you didn't do anything about that, how come you bothered me about this? That's just the mentality.
Of course,
You know, and a lot of people believe that it's their land,
they're right to do whatever.
their right to do whatever it is. But,
This is America, you know.
but, you don't, I own my land,
Right. You can do whatever you.
but I'm a steward of that land. I'm not gonna own it for the next 200 years. Okay? You gotta remember that, we're stewards of the property that we own. We don't own it for eternity.
But you just can't take away private property and knock it down. I don't believe,
I'm talking about, we have laws on the books, and I just believe we have every right to enforce those laws. And when people say, you know what, you haven't enforced it for 30 years, we don't have, no, it's a law. And you have to enforce it. If we want any semblance,
that's a valid point.
if we want any semblance of having a good, clean town, you know, that's my firm beliefs. But anyway,
If somebody went to the Downses and said, listen, do you need help cleaning this up? Can we help you?
the
Take a
justices,
different approach.
the justices have. And so we'll donate those vehicles. Will you let us donate those vehicles
Right.
to the fire
And
department?
tow them out.
No response.
No response.
Every property that they own is hoarded. There's Abrams Garage in Washington.
The same owner? I didn't know that.
Do you see what that looks like?
Oh, God, yeah, that's terrible.
So what gives them the right? Because they own it? Come on,
I agree.
you can't trash every property that you own and leave it to the next generation.
Bill, are you able to put a number on what it would probably cost to do it?
I think he needs to work.
Yeah, I need to caucus with Tim and get quotes about tearing the structures down. That I don't know. I mean,
No, that part is not as concerning, but the legal part and the engineering part. and all
Well,
that-
it's 99, it's 8,900 here.
Right, which
Uh,
is that for all of the properties or just that one?
That one.
So,
But let's get the whole cost
Yeah.
and then we know how to proceed.
Let's look at the whole cost.
all right, and what I'll do is, I've done this in other towns and I'll work off of those expenses and send them up to you.
Not comfortable with the whole thing. I'd like to see a solution, but I'm not.
Let's get the dollar amount, then we can continue the discussion.
Correct.
Without, no, it's no use. You
That's a reasonable approach.
know? Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
No, sir.
I'll make a motion to accept the attorney's report.
I'll second that one.
All in favor? Aye, motion carried. Thank you. Jason,
Alrighty.
Alrighty, you have your transfer station report in front of you. We'll need to replace, for the transfer station. Saturday, we had the trash compactor go down, the electric motor went bad. It has been replaced. I'd like the board's permission to, to seek, somebody to repair the motor we have, so we have a spare motor. The last time I went bad, it was about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, so it does happen. It's
That's a
happened
good
several
idea.
times.
You should have a spare right on the shelf.
Do you have any suggestions of places to repair that motor?
Just that place behind, the old Northway Mall, like Coca's Appliance.
Near Coco's?
Yeah, right next to it. He does electric
Off
motors.
Railroad Extension or something?
Yeah, like Coca-Cola. He rewinds them, he does it.
I think it's just a start capacitor, like, I can't, I'm not sure.
I looked into it.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't have an exact cost of what that cost, but know that the motor rebuilt was around $1,800, so 10 horsepower, single phase motor. In addition to that, John Whitbeck has been out, several days, he threw his back out. I spoke with him the other day, he will be out for at least another week, he's pretty sore. So in the meantime, I have Dave, Potter filling in, and if, need be, we'll have, some of the highway guys standing if we get short on it, so. That's it for the transfer station.
And with that, special thanks to Rich Rooney, he came in on Saturday and helped Jason.
We threw trash, it was a brutal hot day.
So you packed it manually with the skid
So I
steer?
threw the trash into the, just drove the skid steer in there, back. We made it work, so. We got through the day. Onto the highway report. And also in regards to the, transfer station, CEJJ is the company we have been dealing with to repair the transfer station in the past. They no longer service those stationary units. So he, gave me this contact name of a person by the name of Jimmy Wright, who I contacted, and he was the one who came out and serviced the unit. He's very knowledgeable, so he'll be our go-to contact from now on. Onto the highway report. Parking lot is nearly prepped. We do have some additional prep work to finish up. I spoke with Cobus Hill Stone today. They hope to come out Monday and just check our prep work, and hopefully we'll have it paid within a few weeks. So, chip sealing will be next Thursday, 7/18, tentatively. Vonald Road and Camp Winnisaki Road. Our paving has been pushed to the week of August 5th, so we've now involved the paving plan for that week. And our crack sealing is scheduled also for early August, so we'll have all of our paving projects completed by the end of August. We had trouble with our roadside mower, the arm from flexing kind of busted off, so we had it tore apart. Nathan, actually our new hire, took a couple days of tearing it all apart and re-welded it all up, really came out really nice. So we got it back up and going today, so we'll have that back out and running, so. He's really talented fabricator and welder too, so. Next week we'll be working on a large culvert on Torrentor Lane. We were over there today. There's no water running through it at the moment, so we're hoping that the weather forecast stays good. I have a pump truck lined up and concrete lined up for next week. And we're also working on, our goal for next week is to get all the potholes on Pond Hill milled out appropriately and patched. Cool. Last order of we rented a behind road saw, it's a Husqvarna unit from Pick Equipment to do some of the cuts on the driveway here. All we have is older handheld demolition saw. Worked absolutely fabulous. So I contacted Fink. This is a 2022 Honda or Husqvarna FS400. Seemed very lightly used. The cost to purchase that exact unit, the one we rented, is $2,098. Plus, they said we owe them $100 in rental. They would take that rental fee off it and call it a demo. It would be right around $2,000 for that unit. I did price those units out brand new. They are $24.99 from Northern Tool and $2,645 from Granger. So with your permission, I would like to purchase that saw. It does have a water tank on it, way less dust.
What kind of warranty do the new ones come with?
There is no listed warranty. I didn't look, but there's nothing listed in the paperwork on a warranty. I mean, this unit was really beautiful. So I mean, it saves us $500. I don't really foresee it being an issue. But the board's permission, we have ample money to purchase that, but, from a health and safety standpoint too, it has water on it, and you're not bent over, cutting, doing saw cuts. I think it'd be, it's a wise investment that we could utilize.
You gotta have one.
Well, why do you use that for?
So anytime we do a cross culvert in the road to cut the asphalt, anytime we cut the asphalt. So currently, we're just using the demo saw and holding it across, so it's tough on your back, and we have no water on the
That's
saw.
dangerous.
So this is this will be an improvement.
Well,
I'm not saying it can't be done, but this will be an improvement, so I don't think it's a too significant amount of money for a tool like that, so. It's 11 horse, 4-striker stroke motor on it.
This is taking him up to the 21st century.
With,
Him and the Warriors ganging up on me.
so if I can get a motion to have approval to purchase that, I'll move forward with that.
I'm good.
I make a motion that highway department purchase the pavement saw, think equipment.
And I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Okay, any questions? Good to go?
You're good.
Good to go.
Good night.
Oh, one question, Jason.
Yes, sir.
How's it, have you begun training your new employee?
No, but he has a date set on Tuesday to go over to Broome with Jason to work, to start working on your program.
Good.
So we did have him in a truck here, we were doing the yard work here back and forth. And I could just tell he's gonna pick up on it. So he did successfully receive his permit, and
Did he fix that, what'd you say was stuck, the roller?
yes, yeah, really talented mechanic. So we had our bomb bag double drum roller quit on us up on Scout Road, and we went round and round and round with it. It's been an ongoing problem for the last few years. It goes off, can't get it to go, mess with it. But we spent a couple hours with it, pulled the schematics out, went through it. I think we isolated the problem, and we have it back at the building finally.
So, but he didn't find the problem.
We do believe we found the problem.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. Just as soon as we get it on the job site of the problem.
Thank you.
I make a motion to accept the highway recycling department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Town clerk.
I have nothing nearly as exciting as anybody else. Everybody has the numbers for the month of June. This is our slow time, so again, we're just, catching up on things we haven't been able to do, trying to get a few projects done. And now all's quiet. Hunting licenses will be coming up in a few weeks. We will be getting shipping label for the printer, as I was describing last time. All licenses are going to be on plain paper now, so we have to return the printer. We haven't received anything on that yet, but it's
The hunting licenses are gonna be on plain paper?
plain paper.
Why is that? Is that, they did away with that printer thing?
They're claiming supply chain shortages and they can't get the paper.
That's interesting, okay.
And they wanna get DEC fines up, because when you got an index card
Yeah.
tied to the deer's ear, you drag it out, there's nothing there, you get a fine. There's a reason for it.
I move we accept the town clerk report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Code enforcement, building inspector.
Good evening. The department took in $2,361. That's building permits, file searches, and other fees. We had a dozen complaints, 14 inspections, and a couple violations. Some of the violations, we eliminate them as quick as we make them contact the resident, they fix it, so that's why they're not on the list. A lot of people are cooperating, thanks to the activity that we've had in the last couple of years. We've been really getting a lot of compliance out of people. Thanks for your conversation about the Sayer Road project. It's a big deal. We've been working on it for a while. We glad to see you talking about a path forward for that. I can work with you, Bill, on that price of that invoice that you already have. I've seen other numbers that are a whole lot less than that. Yeah, that first number, that caught my eye. I was like, I've seen it for $2,000.
Okay.
We're not doing the C and D, it's just the structures and the cars.
That's what John told me.
That's where we're at?
Yeah.
Okay. That's about all I have.
Okay,
I see, excuse me, on your report, I see two more, actually three Preston Hollow addresses. Are those ones that we discussed on Potter Hollow Road?
Yep, weeds, a jack that's fallen off. A house, one guy got right into it, an older gentleman. As soon as he got the letter, he said, I'm working on it, and he did. He got right in, he worked for 3 weeks, cutting brush and trees away from the house. So we really appreciate the cooperation for people that are working with us.
I also see on 351, there was a violation for an unsafe home. And all the weeds are cleaned up. There's
The
a
dumpster showed up, they cleared it out, they
That's all
called
we
me,
want.
they said, we're gonna sell it. Getting it ready for the market, we're done with it. So, you know, a couple of letters and letting people know, it's the tickle that they need to know that maybe they don't need to be holding on to this stuff. The
That's the
market's
goal.
good right now, Lee.
Huh?
The market's good right now.
Yeah,
People are looking for these properties.
for sure.
okay, I make a motion, your report's done. I make a motion, we accept the code enforcement officer, building inspector's report.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, motion carried. The assessors report, written report. For the month of June, we received a total of 7 transfers, 3 residential, 2 for estate planning, and 2 vacant parcels. Next week, I'll be out of the office for continuing education in Ithaca. Deb will be in the office 9 to noon on Monday and Thursday that week. The final roll is filed with the town clerk on June 27th, deadline. Yours truly, Peter Hotel. I make a motion to accept the assessor's rent report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Water Sewer Committee is a written report. Hydrant replacement. Andre Nadeau has provided materials list for the specified hydrant replacements. The committee will get a quote from town-approved suppliers for materials. For materials to confirm if the hydrant budget will allow for 3 or 4 replacements. Dam and low-level outlet, Albany County Hazard Mitigation Plan. As of June 27th, we believe the town has completed updating the jurisdictional annex for the 2024 Albany County Hazard Mitigation Program. Thank you for everyone's assistance at the town hall. The committee requested confirmation from the county's consultant running the project 2024, which was today. Water treatment plant and district improvement on June 14th, CT Mail successfully submitted the water district's upgrade project to the New York State Drinking Water Intended Use Permit, along with their preliminary engineering report, the income survey, and all other required documentation. Sometime this fall, the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation will publish the list of projects they have chosen to invest in. If we are fortunate enough to have our project chosen this year, then begins the process of applying for the various grants available to help pay for the future design and construction project. For now, we wait. Drinking Water Source Protection Program. On June 14th, the project kickoff was hosted by New York State DEC's consultant, Labella Engineering. The purpose of this project is to focus on Lake Myosotis and the surrounding area. While the upgrade project may take 5 to 10 years to complete, there are advantages to participating in this project in the interim. There is no cost to this project grant to be included with the help of sustainable growth. This is an 18-month project with meetings once a month, which may require the attendance of representatives of the town board, planning board, and other stakeholders. For example, the hike resort. On new business, on June 26th, water operator John Rice identified a curb stop at 1403 County Route 351 had been bent over by an Albany County highway crew while trenching and paving the downhill bend on the road. Shoulder. Ed Sukas contacted the local county resource, John Pine, to discuss how they can help us repair the damage. Phone tag ensued, no closure on this issue as of now. July 4th, Water Sewer Committee meeting was rescheduled to July 8th. The July 8th meeting was then canceled due to a lack of quorum. Over the long July 4th weekend, water operator Rice identified a significant drop in water levels in the storage tank. The committee took precautionary measures to notify the water district to conserve water and check for unattended running water and leaks. A notice was posted on the town's website. Albany County Department of Health was notified. We are to determine if this is just a temporary result of a lot of visitors over the weekend or another issue. This is from Ed Sukas, Water Sewer District Advisory Committee Chair for the town of Rensselaer.
I move we accept the water sewer district for the,
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Motion, okay.
Hey, John. If I may, Ed reached out to me too in regards to, Rice Road, which we know is a private road, in regards to doing some work on that road. We would need authorization from the town board, and we would have to keep track of some of our hours to do the ditching on that to build the water department, am I correct, Bill? In order to do that? Is that something that the town board is willing to authorize us to do?
I can't.
To clean the ditching on Rice Lane, I mean, it would only be a few hours' work. But we would have to keep track of that time and bill the water district. As long as the town board is willing to authorize us to do that, we can accomplish that task.
Is that necessary on Rice Road?
Since there is some ditching issues on Rice Road, yes, I mean, it's been requested by Edwin to go up there and do that. Is that something you would like us to do, or what are your thoughts?
I'm not familiar with the road, so.
Randy, are you?
yeah, the issue is that it's a private road.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not sure who owns it. There's a sign on it that says private road.
But I can find out the owner and speak with the owner prior to the word.
I'd be hesitant to do any work on a private road.
Right.
I mean, if it's a thing where if it's a water district thing, I mean, it's, I don't know, it's getting into some issues there.
I'm a little bit apprehensive also because then what happens if it needs to be, something else needs to be done?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Right, I know that the water district needs egress and, to the water facility. It's the only reason that the question had come up.
I'll ask Ed why it's necessary. Road flood?
But say, he said,
Does
yes,
the road
and
flood?
ice is in the wintertime, because the water runs across the roadway.
I see. He just wants you to ditch it
Just
out.
to clean the ditches, that would likely be a couple hours.
But I know that the water district pays a contractor to plow the road.
Yeah.
For access. I don't know, the legalities of it in highway department, and highway law,
Right.
that's right. it might be prudent for them to pay a contractor to do the repairs.
My understanding of it is we can work for the water district as long as we keep track of our time and bill our time accordingly.
To the district.
Correct,
To the district.
correct.
Why is it the water district's responsibility to ditch the road?
Well, they have their, well, it may be a shared responsibility, but their water house and pump station and treatment center is there, and they need access to
So
and
it
from.
gets iced over,
And
Yeah, that
John
water
Rice
is
has,
water filtration.
John Rice has trouble getting.
but even, to me, even they should not be paying for it. Whoever owns that road should be paying for it. You know, why?
Yeah,
why
why
is the
don't we
water
find out
district-
who
We can do
owns
some
that?
more research, it was asked, Ed had asked me, I said I would ask you. So
Yeah,
we'll go from there.
but let's see who owns that.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
But it is okay for the highway, the water district to pay the highway department for,
Well, the highway department bills the water district.
Correct.
and Then the water district has to pay them for. the-
yes, they can hire the other town, and that's all good.
And we did do that when we had a water main break on Route 85, we provided a little assistance, we kept track of our time and billed the water district.
All right. Moving on to current events. 2024 Art Show, sponsored by the Rensselaer Historic Society. Artwork on July 20 and 21, 27 and 28, Wednesday, July 25th. Under old business, Albany County Parks Improvement Initiative grant, which I spoke about earlier, was $19,000. And I will continue with Becca Platel to see what our next steps are and what we're gonna use it for. And last on is the EMS gave us a revised, let's see if that's it.
Right here.
No, I got it. So ALS originally was almost 96,000. They dropped it to almost 91,000 after some. And then basic life support, 77,219, they dropped it to 74,000. So I'll just read this from Dennis Wood. After receiving several emails of concern regarding the initial figure I sent last week, I met with the sheriff and the budget analyst. The sheriff is going to try and cover the larger portions of the increase, and we put together a new budget. Please disregard the first figures received. Below is the new 2025 EMS operating budget for the town of Rensselaer. So like I said, ALS, 90,722 and 26 cents. BLS is $74,028.
Is he related to mine? Is he related to?
This is brother. All right, any other? I don't really have anything on the new business. You guys have anything? I hate to cut the meeting short.
If we should.
Huh? Any audience comments?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried, thank you, everyone.